Good morning, sir. Yes, I can confirm that the strike will resume today, and it is an indefinite strike until we can get an offer that can be able to settle the current dispute. We're demanding wages improvement, shift allowance, medical aid, transport allowance, housing subsidy, and short-time allowance. Basically, those are the demands.
And what led to the deadlock?
Well, as you know, as workers, workers cannot offer anything to themselves. Employers we've been negotiating now for months since our bargaining conference, and we reached a stage where it became quite clear that employers were buying this thing of seeking to stick to CPI or make a little bit of an improvement on that. And unfortunately, we do not agree. We have been very clear to employers that they should actually make an offer on a 1 year, because in the industry there's a history of 3 agreements. So we're saying to make things easy for them, they should basically settle with us for a 1 year agreement. But if they want to have 3-year agreement as a tradition and a practice, they would have to accept that they must buy that, because we're no longer willing to sign an agreement in 1 year and then for the in 3 years, then in the following 2 years, workers suffer as a result of administered prices where the cost of living shoot up the roof, and employers would say, you have already agreed that you will get a lesser percentage and we're not willing to talk to you even if they are making money.
Could you give us an average salary earned by workers, at least in the motor manufacturing industry, from the bottom up to the top?
Well, I have not done yet now those calculations, but the bottom line is that we know that the workers we're talking about, if you're talking from since 1994, and the bulk majority of half of workers in this country, they are below the median, and these workers in the auto sector, they are just the one who are breaking a little bit out of that ceiling. As a result, they carry the burden of many who do not work in terms of poverty, unemployment, and inequalities. And we think that the demands we're putting on the table and persuading employers are really justified.
And you say it's below the median. What is the median salary at this point?
Well, I mean, basically, those workers, there is no much of a person who, if you look into, I'm basically raising the median in so far as that if you're talking about the wages for workers, there has been increases that have been very constant. Workers didn't get the real increase, but if you're looking at the rate of profits, the bosses have been making a lot of money.
I think it's important to establish this, Mr. Jim, because the employers are saying they're not going to offer above 6%. You have, I understand, come down to 14% from 20%. And if you look at the criticism, generally it always is that it's above the inflation rate of, at the moment, 5.9%. So just trying to get a clearer understanding.
But I mean, just take transport. Transport alone, in terms of cost of living today, is about 15%. And if you're talking about the basket of food, which employers are calculating, what Steps SA does in doing those calculations, they actually measure that on the basis of those who basically buy, which is the middle class. The working class is basically not forming part of that basket of food. So the CPI cost that employers want us to take, it's basically money for those who are real earners. But for these workers, that CPI is basically nothing.
Who earn an average of what, Mr. Jim?
No, I'm just saying that the Stats SA statistics that is being calculated on the basket of food, it is the rich and the middle class, not these workers fall below that.